Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Our frigid weather has many of us staying home and curling up on the couch in order to stay warm. But this cold weather probably has your furnace working OT, too.
It's true. Scott Droegkamp is the president of Droegkamp Heating, and Pete McFadden is a field applications specialist. And they're here to give us some tips to stay safe and confident during this deep freeze. Thanks for being here, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, this time of year, everything's working overtime, as Molly said. It's going. That furnace is having a hard time. Is there anything people need to be aware of when we're in a deep freeze like this?
One of the things that people may not be aware of is that when we size a furnace for southeast Wisconsin, it's based upon being able to maintain 70 degrees indoors when it's 10 below outside.
Okay.
So we've had several nights now that we've been below design conditions. So it's not always a good idea to set your thermostat way back at night. A little bit's great for savings, but the furnaces, because they're operating beyond their design conditions, might have a hard time recovering and getting the house back up to temperature.
Give us some numbers. When you say a little bit back, I mean, does that mean 50 or does that mean 64?
What I did in my home is I didn't set it any lower than 64 at night during these last few very cold nights, just to make sure that there were no problems recovering.
Okay. What can a homeowner do right now, especially as cold as it's been, to keep their furnace from breaking down? Because that's kind of the worst nightmare right now.
There's a few things. The biggest thing is because of the runtime the furnaces are getting, making sure that filter's clean.
Okay.
We've had a lot of calls already this winter about plug filters. And there's probably a couple other things, Scott. Do you have any input?
Yeah, I would say the venting of the furnace is real important too with the weather conditions, a lot of blowing snow and everything, and make sure there's no obstruction in the intake and exhaust, and the drains are free to get the condensate out so the furnace can keep running.
Okay. How about replacing a furnace? We were talking a little bit about that during the break, that even sometimes there's emergencies this time of year too where you have to replace, but when should people normally replace a furnace?
If you have time to do it and plan it ahead with your budget and so forth, that's good. But in today's world and with the way the economy is right now, that usually doesn't happen. So Pete and Dan that do these sales for us, they go out on calls almost immediately when a customer calls in, and we're geared to replace that furnace the same day.
That's fantastic.
That's incredible, but probably necessary as cold as it's been. Are you offering any deals this time of year? Is it kind of like there's such high demand that you just can't?
There's a bit of a fallacy out there that when it's cold, you pay a premium for furnaces.
I always thought that.
And I can't speak for everyone. Maybe if you're a very small business that doesn't have a lot of manpower, but now is as good a time as any. There's rebates from We Energies. There's rebates from Lennox. We have some in-house specials going on this time of year. So I always say that our pricing doesn't vary a lot from season to season.
That's nice.
What should you look for when you're looking for a heating contractor?
I would look for somebody that's reputable, that's been around for quite a while. You know, ask around, ask questions, ask your neighbor who they've used, and somebody that you can trust. Ultimately, that knows what they're doing, that's been in the business for a long time, like us.
How long have you guys been around? What do you think separates you from other heating contractors?
Well, my family name has been in the business for 5 generations. So our business particularly has been around for 32 years. And we've got I'm confident in all of our employees. It's a great team that we have here, and we can get out there and do the job for you.
And how often should you, especially when you don't need it and it's not an emergency, how often should you have just kind of a routine check of your furnace and the system?
Annual maintenance is a good thing. And if it's done, I mean, you have an air conditioner and a furnace, you can sometimes piggyback them both at the same time, but you know, at least get it done for your furnace in particular right now. Like Pete mentioned earlier, make sure your air filter is clean, pipes are taken care of, that they're clean, there's no obstruction, and drains are clean, and have a tech out there professionally to go through your unit and check all the components to make sure that you're not down when you need it, such as right now.
It truly is the air filter is a big thing, and it's so easy to do on your own, especially if you have pets, though. You need to check it more often, right?
Absolutely. Pets, there's a lot of airborne dust and everything in hair that come into play with a filter, and you do have to replace it more often.
That's fantastic. I bet you're getting sort of overloaded with calls this time of year. I mean, it's been colder than ever. Have you seen a significant increase in your call volume?
Quite a bit, yeah, especially with the service. It's been crazy.
And you probably feel you need to get out there right away, too.
Well, you have to. People can't wait. We had one tech last week that ran 21 hours straight.
Wow.
And we've got a good group of techs. They do a good job for people, but we're gonna take care of you just as fast as we can.
I think you guys are great. You've been to my house and you came like right away. So I really appreciated that. You do a nice job. Great to have you here. An important conversation to have as it's so cold outside. So here's where you can find the people at Dave Droegkamp Heating. They're located on Norton Drive in Heartland. The website for more info is davedroegkamp.com. You can check the spelling there on your screen. The phone number to call for an appointment or if something happens to your furnace is 262-367-2820. Nice to see you
Thanks, guys.
Stay warm.
Thank you.